this. But to bring it back around to our scenario, our industry, what I know you and I have seen over the years is something very similar. You have those digital analytics managers and directors that collect platforms. And it's like, if I have this platform, I need this one, I need this one, I need this one. And before you know it, they have a tech stack that has completely gotten away from them, and nobody is maintaining any of it.
Yeah, and again, I think there are a lot of parallels to hoarding in the real world, because you mentioned, family members saying, "Hey, we don't want to come around anymore. We can't come around. It's unclean." You see that in the business world, right? So you have these analytics managers that have this unwieldy tech stack, all this data. It's just a hoarding nightmare. The inevitable is it gets to a point where it's unsanitary, and the business says, "I don't want to come around your department anymore. It's not clean. I can't have my team members going in there and using your data like it's untrustworthy. It's just really dirty." But also, if you watch some of those episodes, there's also a reverse of that is true, where the person, although they may not be able to stop the behavior, they feel a certain level of shame, where they're embarrassed to bring people over. So they don't have guests over because they're embarrassed of, it's not like they're oblivious to the state of their conditions, and they're embarrassed to have guests over. And we've seen that as well, where these analytics programs have become such a disaster and literally a hoarder's house, that, while they can't stop the behavior, they're not unaware of the situation they create, and they're embarrassed for people to come over and look at it. And they turn away outside help. We're kind of like the interventionists. They turn away inside help, which is the family members trying to have the intervention, and they don't have anyone coming over to hang out with them and use their data, because they're embarrassed at the state it's in. So there's a lot of real world analogies and parallels there to what you see with physically hoarding of things. And obviously, I think there's probably different psychological factors at play that lead to that. But again, the outcomes are very, very similar. And what ends up happening most of the times is that, unlike owning a house that's a hoarder's nightmare, it's a lot easier to simply quit your job and move to another one to kind of fix the situation. That's what we see happening a lot. Whether it's you're inheriting a hoarder's nightmare, or you've created it yourself, 99 times out of 100, they're unwilling to accept help. But then it gets to the point where it's simply unmanageable. And so they're like, you know what, I'll make it someone else's problem. I'm going to go move to a different job.
Yeah. And so any kind of accountability for keeping it clean goes away. It's the next person's problem, not mine.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's exactly right. And I think honestly, that's a lot of the reason why companies get into that mess in the first place. And I think it's poignant that our topic for this month is sustainable analytics. Is that they are thinking the opposite of sustainability. They're not thinking about sustainability. They're not thinking about the next person that's going to take on their job. They're thinking, what can I what can I get done today to, keep so-and-so off my back, or to get my bonus. I don't really, care what that means for the future.